Restoration is more than a repair, it is a miraculous process of bringing back wholeness and completeness. God, in His infinite grace, specializes in restoring what seems lost, irreparable, or shattered. The promise of restoration is not just a concept but a divine reality for those who believe in His power. As Psalm chapter 71, 20-21 declares, "Though you have made me see troubles, many and bitter, you will restore my life again. From the depths of the earth, you will again bring me up. You will increase my honor and comfort me once more." These words remind us that even in the darkest valleys, God's light of hope shines bright. He is actively working to mend broken hearts, renew shattered dreams, and turn ashes into beauty. Your journey has been a tapestry of struggles, triumphs, and moments that tested your faith. In the darkest hours, when the weight of life felt unbearable and you questioned if anyone truly saw or understood your pain, God was there. He is not a distant observer but an intimate participant in your story. His promise remains steadfast: "I have seen your struggles and your perseverance." This assurance is not fleeting but eternal, a reminder that your journey is not in vain. Every tear you have cried holds significance. The Bible tells us in Psalm chapter 56, 8 that God collects our tears in His bottle, a profound symbol of His tender care and understanding. Your whispered prayers in the stillness of the night, uttered when no one else could hear, reached the heavens. They were not ignored or dismissed but were met with divine attention. God has walked with you through the fires of adversity, calmed the storms of chaos, and stood beside you in the silence of waiting. Isaiah chapter 40, 31 speaks of the strength God provides to those who trust in Him. Even when your own strength falters, His strength sustains you. Like an eagle, which waits for its wings to heal before it takes flight again, God prepares you in seasons of stillness. He renews your heart, mind, and spirit, equipping you for the soaring heights ahead. You will not just rise. You will soar, fearlessly, purposefully, and with a renewed sense of who you are in Him. Your trials were never meant to break you, they were refining you, shaping you for a destiny far greater than you can imagine. Trust that in every step, seen or unseen, God has been your unfailing guide. The whispers of the enemy aim to chain you to regret, convincing you that your failures and struggles have disqualified you from a hopeful future. Yet, God's promise stands unshaken: "I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten." Joel chapter 2. 25. Those years, seemingly wasted in sorrow and silence, are not forgotten by the Creator who turns ashes into beauty and mourning into joy. Every tear you've shed has been a seed planted in faith, watered by God's grace, and destined to bloom into a harvest of blessings. Your setbacks are not signs of defeat but stepping stones toward a greater purpose. The wounds you carry may seem like scars of failure, but in God's hands, they become marks of resilience and transformation. He is not limited by time. He redeems it, making every moment count toward His plan for your life. Joseph's story is a profound testament to this truth. Betrayed by his family, abandoned to slavery, and left to languish in prison, Joseph could have easily believed his life was irredeemable. Yet, in God's perfect timing, those very trials positioned him to fulfill a divine purpose that impacted nations. What seemed like wasted years became the foundation of a legacy of faith and redemption. Your story mirrors this divine principle. What the enemy intended for harm, God will use for good. The pain and disappointment you've endured are not wasted but are being transformed into testimonies of His power. Trust in His process, for He is preparing you to rise into a future filled with double portions of joy, restoration, and victory. God's promise ensures that the best chapters of your life are not behind you, they are being written even now. God's ability to restore and renew surpasses all human understanding. He is not confined by time, nor is He hindered by the magnitude of your challenges. What you may see as irreparable, God sees as an opportunity for His power to be revealed. Dreams that seemed crushed, relationships that felt lost, and opportunities you thought had passed you by, God holds the ability to breathe life into them once again. Ephesians chapter 3, 20 assures us of His limitless capability. He can do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. Think about that. God not only meets your hopes but exceeds them in ways you cannot fathom. When you place your brokenness into His hands, He transforms it into something far greater than you ever imagined. Picture a broken pot in the hands of a master potter. To others, it may appear as nothing more than fragments, useless and beyond repair. But the potter sees potential. He carefully gathers the shards, mends them with skill and patience, and reshapes the vessel into one of even greater beauty and resilience. God is that master potter in your life. He doesn't discard the broken pieces of your heart or the shattered remnants of your dreams. Instead, He lovingly restores them, crafting a new story of redemption and purpose. The beauty of His restoration lies not only in fixing what was lost but in making it stronger and more meaningful. A vessel shaped by God carries a unique radiance, a testimony of grace and renewal. Trust Him with your broken pieces, knowing that His hands can transform your life into a masterpiece. What you thought was over is just the beginning of what He is preparing for you. Waiting is often the most challenging part of any journey, especially when the heart aches for resolution or relief. Yet, the waiting season is not a pause in God's plan, it is a deliberate part of it. God's timing, though mysterious to us, is always perfect. When we rush ahead, we risk missing the fullness of what He has in store. But when we wait on Him, we position ourselves to receive blessings that exceed our expectations. Ecclesiastes chapter 3:11 reminds us that He has made everything beautiful in its time. Think about that, not some things, but everything. Even the struggles, the tears, and the unanswered prayers are woven into a tapestry of beauty in God's hands. The waiting season is where He does some of His most profound work, shaping your character, strengthening your faith, and preparing your heart for what's to come. Consider the farmer who plants seeds. For weeks, the soil looks unchanged, barren even. But beneath the surface, life is stirring. Roots are forming, and the seed is transforming into something new. The farmer doesn't abandon the field because he sees no immediate results. Instead, he nurtures the soil, waters the ground, and trusts in the process. Similarly, your waiting is not wasted. Beneath the surface, God is cultivating growth, preparing you for a harvest of blessings. This season of waiting is also a time of refining. Like gold that must pass through fire to be purified, God uses this time to remove impurities from your life, fear, doubt, impatience, and replace them with trust, hope, and perseverance. It is a season where your faith deepens, your perspective shifts, and your spirit grows stronger. Trust that the God who planted the seeds in your life will bring them to fruition, making everything beautiful in His perfect time. God promises to transform your pain into purpose. The struggles you have endured will not be wasted but will become testimonies of His faithfulness. Romans chapter 8:28 assures us, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Think about the story of Job. He lost everything, his wealth, health, and family. Yet, because of his unwavering faith, God restored him with double blessings. Your trials, like Job's, are not meant to break you but to refine you, drawing you closer to God and strengthening your faith. As you embrace the process of God's restoration, hold tightly to His promises. They are anchors for your soul in times of uncertainty and a source of unwavering hope. Each promise is a personal assurance from the Creator of the universe, speaking directly to your heart and circumstances. I will restore your health and heal your wounds. Jeremiah 30:17. This is not just about physical healing but also about the restoration of your emotional and spiritual wholeness. God sees the wounds you carry, those inflicted by others, by life's hardships, or even by yourself. His promise is to mend what is broken, making you stronger and more vibrant than before. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm chapter 34:18. In moments of despair, when it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, God draws near. He is not a distant observer but an intimate comforter, holding you close, offering solace and strength when you feel you have none left. What was meant for harm, God will use for good. Genesis chapter 50:20. This promise echoes through the story of Joseph and resonates in your own life. Every setback, betrayal, or hardship you've endured is not wasted. God is sovereign, and his ability to turn trials into triumphs is unmatched. What the enemy intended to destroy you, God will use to elevate you and bring blessings that exceed your imagination. These promises are more than words, they are lifelines. They remind you that you are never alone, that God is actively working in your life, and that his plans for you are filled with hope and a future. Let these truths settle deep in your heart, and carry them as a shield of faith as you walk the path of restoration. As God restores you, his work in your life surpasses mere recovery, he propels you into abundance. His restoration is not a return to the past but a journey toward an extraordinary future filled with his glory and favor. Picture a barren desert suddenly bursting into a vibrant oasis. This transformation reflects what God is doing in your heart, your relationships, and your circumstances. He takes the desolate places, the areas where hope seemed lost, and brings forth life, beauty, and fruitfulness. His restoration brings joy that cannot be shaken, peace that surpasses understanding, and blessings that overflow. Zechariah chapter 9:12 declares, "Return to your fortress, you prisoners of hope. Even now I announce that I will restore twice as much to you." This promise is not just poetic, it is prophetic. The fortress represents God's unshakable presence, a refuge where you are renewed and strengthened. As a prisoner of hope, you hold on to faith even in the face of adversity, knowing that God's plans are always good. When God says he will restore double, it is not a mere replacement of what was lost but an outpouring of blessings that exceed your imagination. The joy he gives will outweigh the sorrow you've endured. The peace he bestows will silence the storms that once raged in your life. The honor he grants will elevate you beyond the shame or rejection you've faced. This is your season of double portions. Every tear you've cried, every trial you've endured, and every prayer you've whispered in faith has set the stage for this divine restoration. Trust that God's promises are true. He is making all things new, and what lies ahead is greater than anything you've left behind. God's restoration is an ongoing process. Each day is an opportunity to walk in his grace and embrace the new life he is unfolding for you. Lift your head high, knowing that your past does not define you. It has prepared you for the glorious future God has in store. Your journey, with all its ups and downs, is a testament to his faithfulness and love. Remember the words of Isaiah chapter 43:18-19. Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. This is the God you serve, the God of restoration, renewal, and boundless hope. Trust in him, and watch as he restores all your wasted years, turning them into a beautiful testimony of his glory. Prayer: Lord, thank you for your promise of restoration. Thank you for seeing every tear, every hurt, and every loss. I trust in your power to renew what was broken and bring back the joy that seemed lost. Help me to walk forward in faith, knowing that you are with me every step of the way. May my life be a testimony of your grace and love. Amen.